धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् स्वाहा। हे दयालु परमात्मन, आप अपनी असीम कृपा से हमारी सदा रक्षा करते हैं। आप ही हमारे जीवन आधार है। अपने सेवकों के दुखों को दूर करके उनको सुख देने वाले हैं। आप सर्वत्र सुप्रतिष्ठित और सुप्रसिद्ध है। आप सर्वोत्तम, शुद्ध, पवित्र और ज्ञान स्वरूप है। आपसे ही यह सारा जगत उत्पन्न हुआ है। आप ही सकल शुभ गुणों की खान है। आपका हम प्रतिदिन ध्यान करें और आप हमें विवेकशीलता, धारणावती मेधा, सद्बुद्धि प्रदान करे। शिष्टकृताहुति, ऑफरिंग ऑफ मोहन भोग। ओम यदस्य कर्मण्योत्यरीरिचं यद्वान्यूनमिहाकरम् अग्निष्टस्विष्टकृत विद्यात् सर्वं सृष्टं सुहूतं करोतु मे। अग्नये स्विष्टकृते सहुतहुते सर्वप्रायश्चित्ताहुतीनां कामानां समर्धयित्रे सर्वानः कामान् समर्धय स्वाहा। इदमग्नये स्विष्टकृते इदन्ना मम। प्रजापत्याहुति, घी ओनली, साइलेंट मंत्र। ओम स्वाहा इदं प्रजापते इदन्ना मम। May we all stand for Purnahuti. ओम सर्वं वै पूर्णं स्वाहा। ओम सर्वं वै पूर्णं स्वाहा। ओम सर्वं वै पूर्णं स्वाहा. I'd like to ask the mothers in our congregation to come up and make an offering for Purnahuti. Om Sarvam Vai Purnam Swaha. 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 Our fathers and brothers. Om Sarvam Vai Purnam Swaha. 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 With hands outstretched to the Havan Kund. Om Tanupa Agneyasi Tanva me pahi. Om Ayurda Agni Siyayur me dehi. Om Varchoda Agneyasi Varcho me dehi. Om Agneyan me Tanva Unam Tanma Aprena. Om Medha me Deva Savida Adadhatu. Om Medha me Devi Saraswati Adadhatu. Om Medha me Ashvinau Devavattatham Pushkarasrajau. Apyayatam. Om Vakchama Apyayatam. Om Pranashama Apyayatam. Om Chakshushama Apyayatam. Om Shrotranchama Apyayatam. Om Yashobalam Chama Apyayatam. May we all take our seats. Yaj Pratna Geet. पूजनीय प्रभु हमारे भाव उज्ज्वल कीजिए, छोड़ देवे छल कपट को मानसिक बल दीजिए। वेद की गाए रचाए सत्य को धारण करे, हर्ष में हो मग्न सारे, शोक सागर से तरे। अश्वमेधादिक रचाए, यज पर उपकार को, धर्म मर्यादा चला कर लाभ दे संसार को। स्वार्थ भाव मिटे हमारा, प्रेम पथ विस्तार हो, ईंधन मम का सार्थक प्रत्येक में व्यवहार हो। हाथ जोर झुकाए मस्तक, हाथ जोर झुकाए मस्तक, वंदना हम कर रहे। नाथ करुणा रूप करुणा आपकी सब पर रहे, प्रभु आपकी सब पर रहे, प्रभु आपकी सब पर रहे। ओम सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःख भाग् भवेत्। हे ईश सब सुखी हो, कोई न हो दुखारी, सब हो निरोग भगवन। धन धान्य के भंडारी, सब भद्र भाव दे के, सन्मार्ग के पथिक हो। सब भद्र भाव देखे, सन्मार्ग के पथिक हो। दुखिया न कोई होवे, सृष्टि में प्राणधारी। हे ईश सब सुखी हो. O Lord, may all be happy, may all be free from misery, may all realize goodness, and may no one suffer pain. Iti havana yajya samaptaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. This brings us to the end of Havan. I would now like to pass you over to our president, Bhai Sohanji.
Namaste to everyone once again. Those of you who are joining us in Mandir this morning, and those who are joining us via social media, a very special welcome and a very sincere namaste to each and every one. As was said earlier, as part of our yajna this morning, we are also observing Mata Sita Jayanti. We are also joining or sharing with Mataji Auntie Boj and Bhai Navin in celebrating their birthday as well. Ramayana teaches us a lot about the life of Mata Sita Jayanti, and I'm sure we will hear a little more about that later. But it says that Mata Sita is revered as the epitome of purity, sacrifice, dedication, courage, and patience. And that's a lesson for all of us, more so our mothers and our sisters. I also this morning want to recognize we have with us Purohit Vinay. I mean, a few Sundays ago, we had our Purohit celebration. He couldn't make it. He lives far away from here. But we're happy, Purohit Vinay, to have you here this morning. Later on, you will do for us a bhajan just to put you on notice. Also, good to see you once again, Mataji Noreen. Happy to have you with us here this morning. Mataji Bali, Pitaji Shivratan and his Dharmpatni. Happy to see you here this morning. Once again, on behalf of all of us at this mandir, I want to wish Bhai Navin and Auntie Boj a very happy birthday. I mean, our Purohit Niraj made a little mention, so I think everyone knows, and I don't need to repeat the dedication of both of these members. Auntie Boj, every Sunday we know where she is and what she does for us. Bhai Navin reached out to me and said, Bhai Sohan, anything you ask of me, I'm ready to do it. And so I'm happy that we have such dedicated and selfless members. Once again, welcome. Our first bhajan will be led by Devendra. So he will let you know the page, and I ask that if all of us can join our sweet voices, it's called a congregational bhajan. So if all of us can join, the doors are open. So it will send a very big message, not only to those who are here, but who probably are passing on the street. So hi, Devendra.
My humble namaste to everyone. It feels like a while since I've been here, but I'm very happy to be at Mandir this morning and very happy to be amongst all of you beautiful souls. If you can, please join me on page 24 for this very special birthday bhajan dedicated to our Mataji, Nani Bhojwati, and our Pitaji Navin, and everyone else celebrating their birthday. And this bhajan says, we thank God for this wonderful opportunity to sit in prayer and in song to celebrate these wonderful birthdays. Ati dhanyavad Parameshwar ka. Ati dhanyavad Parameshwar ka. ये सुंदर अवसर आया है जन्म दिवस इस बालक का जो उत्सव आज मनाया है अति धन्यवाद परमेश्वर का ये सुंदर अवसर आया है जन्म दिवस इस बालक का जो उत्सव आज मनाया है ईश्वर विश्वासी सत्यवादी वेदों का ये अनुयायी हो ईश्वर विश्वासी सत्यवादी वेदों का ये अनुयायी हो दिन रात पले फूले अनिरोध हो सुंदर इसके खाया है अति धन्यवाद परमेश्वर का ये सुंदर अवसर आया है विद्वानों का सम्मान करे गुरु मात पिता का सेवक हो विद्वानों का सम्मान करे गुरु मात पिता का सेवक हो दुखियों के दुख को दूर करे, जो वेदों में बतलाया है। अति धन्यवाद परमेश्वर का, ये सुंदर अवसर आया है। सब गुण संपन्न बने बालक है, आशीर्वाद यही सबका। सब गुण संपन्न बने बालक है, आशीर्वाद यही सबका। सबको सुखदायक सदा रहे, जो गीत देव ने गाया है। अति धन्यवाद परमेश्वर का, ये सुंदर अवसर आया है जन्म दिवस इस बालक का, जो उत्सव आज मनाया है। जो उत्सव आज मनाया है, जो उत्सव आज मनाया है। Once again, जन्मदिन का अभिनंदन। धन्यवाद।
Thank you very much, Bhai Devendra, for leading us in that wonderful bhajan. It is that we thank God for this wonderful opportunity to sit in prayer and song. At this stage, I'd like to ask Bhai Devendra and Bhai Richie. They will do for us 10 principles. And after Bhai Richie and Bhai Devendra, then I'll ask Purohit Vinay to make his little contribution this morning.
Hello again. It's me. If you can, please join with us on page 313 of your Atmageet, or the back cover of your Vedic Aradhana. आर्य समाज के 10 नियम। प्रथम नियम, सब सत्य विद्या और जो पदार्थ विद्या से जाने जाते हैं, उन सब का आदि मूल परमेश्वर।
First principle, God is a primary cause of all spiritual and physical science and of everything known through their means.
द्वितीय नियम, ईश्वर सच्चिदानंद स्वरूप, निराकार, सर्वशक्तिमान, न्यायकारी, दयालु, अजन्मा, अनंत, निर्विकार, अनादि, सर्वाधार, सर्वेश्वर, सर्वव्यापक, सर्व अंतर्यामी, अजर, अमर, अभय, नित्य, पवित्र और सृष्टि करता है, उसी की उपासना करनी योग्य है।
Second principle, God is existent, intelligent, and blissful. He is formless, omnipotent, just, kind, unborn, endless, unchangeable, beginningless, unequal, the support of all, the Lord of all, omnipresent, immanent, unaging, immortal, fearless, eternal, holy, and the creator of the universe. He alone shall be communed with.
तृतीय नियम, वेरा सब सत्य विद्याओं का पुस्तक है। वेरा का पढ़ना, पढ़ाना, सुनना, सुनाना सब आर्यों का परम धर्म है।
Third principle, Veda is a scripture of all true knowledge. Reading, teaching, hearing, and reciting the Veda is the first duty of all Aryans.
चतुर्थ नियम, सत्य को ग्रहण करने और असत्य को छोड़ने में सर्वदा उद्यत रहना चाहिए।
Fourth principle, one shall always be prepared to accept truth and reject falsehood.
पंचम नियम, सब काम धर्म अनुसार अर्थात सत्य और असत्य को विचार करके करने चाहिए।
Fifth principle, all work shall be done in keeping with righteousness, that is, after due reflection over right and wrong.
शास्त्र नियम संसार का उपकार करना इस समाज का मुख्य उद्देश्य है, अर्थात शारीरिक, आत्मिक और सामाजिक उन्नति करना।
Sixth principle, to do good to the whole world is the main object of this Samaj, that is, to improve the physical, spiritual, and social status of human experience.
सप्तम नियम सबसे प्रीतिपूर्वक धर्मानुसार यथा योग्य बरतना चाहिए।
Seventh principle, one shall have dealings with all in accordance with love, law, and propriety.
अष्टम नियम अविद्या का नाश और विद्या की वृद्धि करनी चाहिए।
Eighth principle, one shall always promote knowledge and dispel ignorance.
नवम नियम प्रत्येक को अपनी ही उन्नति में संतुष्ट न रहना चाहिए, किंतु सबकी उन्नति में अपनी समझनी चाहिए।
Ninth principle, no one shall remain content with his or her own prosperity. Individual prosperity shall be considered in the prosperity of all.
और दशम नियम सब मनुष्यों को सामाजिक सर्वहितकारी नियम पालने में परतंत्र रहना चाहिए और प्रत्येक हितकारी नियम में सब स्वतंत्र रहे।
10th principle, everyone shall be bound in following altruistic social rule. However, in matters relating to personal welfare, let all be free. Namaste.
नमस्ते।
Thank you so much. And I think we need to give a round of applause to Bhai Devendra and more so Bhai Rich. You know, Bhai Rich has been coming to this mandir for I don't know how long. And so it's testimony to the fact that we're having members, we're having people coming to our mandir, and once given an opportunity, we have so much participation. So thank you very much, Bhai Rich, Bhai Devendra. At this stage, I'd like to ask our Purohit, Purohit Vinayji, to do for us bhajan. After that, Purohit Niraj will do some Chaupai recitation.
Namaste, everyone. I'm so glad to be here today to join with you all. Since we're celebrating Sita Jayanti, what came to mind was Janaki Nath. Janaki Nath is the Lord of Janaki. So I would like to sing this bhajan that Swami Tulsidas composed. And basically, this is the gist of it. It says, if the Lord of Sita were to help you, then whoever can cause trouble to you? Who can cause trouble to you? Okay. Janaki Nath Sahaye, jab kaun kare bigade ka, Suraj, Mangal, Soma, Brigur, all the planets are now become favorable to you. And Rahu and Ketu, they can't trouble you, they can't touch you. Next. When the treasure of mercy, the treasure house of mercy, helps someone, he has great future in this world. ना क्या बात? Sare ga ma pa ga ma dha ni pa ga ma re pa ni da ni sa. जानकी नाथ सहाय करे कर, जानकी नाथ सहाय करे। कौन बिगार कर नर तेरो, कौन बिगार कर नर तेरो, जानकी नाथ सहाय करे, जानकी नाथ सहाय करे। कौन बिगार कर नर तेरो, कौन बिगार कर नर तेरो, जानकी नाथ सहाय करे। तज मंगल सोम भृगु सुत, सूरज मंगल सोम भृगु सुत, बुधवर गुरुवर दायक तेरो, बुधवर गुरु दायक तेरो। राहु केतु की नाही गम्यता, राहु केतु की नाही गम्यता। संग शनिचर होते कुचेरो, संग शनिचर हेतु कुचेरो, जानकी नाथ सहाय करे। जानकी नाथ सहाय करे। कौन बिगाड़ कर नर तेरो, कौन बिगाड़ कर नर तेरो, जानकी नाथ सहाय करे। जाकी सहायक करी करुणा निधि, जाकी सहायक कर करुणा निधि। ताके जग में भाग बड़े हो, ताके जग में भाग बड़े हो। रघुवंशी संतन सुख, रघुवंशी तन सुखदायक, तुलसीदास चरण को चेरो, तुलसीदास चरण के चेरो, जानकी नाथ सहाय करे। जानकी नाथ सहाय करे। कब कौन बिगाड़ कर नर तेरो, कौन बिगाड़ कर नर तेरो, जानकी नाथ सहाय करे। जानकी नाथ जानकी नाथ जानकी नाथ सहाय करे। Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bhai Vinay ji, for rendering that beautiful bhajan. And also, again, very happy to have you with us this morning. At this stage, our Purohit Neeraj ji would do a Chaupai presentation for us, highlighting the life of Mata Sita. So over to our Purohit Neeraj ji, and after his presentation, we will take Bhai Rajan with the Geet or Bhajan this morning.
Take that mic. The red mic. Namaste again. Before I go into the Chaupais, just two verses of the Sumiran, which is customarily sang before the Chaupais in Rag Mia Malhar. जो सुमिरत सिद्धि होई, जो सुमिरत सिद्धि होई, गणनायक करि बर बदना, गणनायक करि बर बदना, करो अनुग्रह सोई, करो अनुग्रह सोई, बुद्धि राशि शुभ गुण सदना, जो सुमिरत सिद्धि होई, मोक होई बाचाल पंगो, चदे गिरिवर गहना, जासु कृपा सो दयाल द्रवो, सकल कली कल दहना, जो सुमिरत सिद्धि होई, गणनायक करि बर बदना, जो सुमिरत सिद्धि होई, वंदो गुरुपद कंजा, कृपा सिंधु नर रूप हरि, महामोहतम पुंज जासु, वचन रवि कर निकरा, जो सुमिरत सिद्धि होई, गणनायक करि बर बदना, करो अनुग्रह सोई, बुद्धि राशि शुभ गुण सदना, जो सुमिरत सिद्धि, जो सुमिरत सिद्धि, जो सुमिरत सिद्धि होई. So we go to Balkand, and it is said in Tulsidas Ramayana or Ramcharitmanas that Sri Ram was in the garden of Mithila with his brother Lakshman, and coincidentally at the same time Sita was there as well. And Raghuveer had heard the tinkling of bangles and the ringing of bells on her waist and anklets. He looked in the direction of Sita Ma and was stunned. And this is what he said to himself. सुंदरता कहो सुंदर कराई, सुंदरता कहो सुंदर कराई, छवि गृहन दीप सिख जनु बराई, छवि गृहन दीप सिखा जनु बराई, सब उपमा कभी रहे जुधारी, केहि पत तरौ विदेह कुमारी केहि पत तरौ विदेह कुमारी. She lends charm to itself, he said to himself, and looks as if a flame of light is burning in a house of beauty. The similes already employed by the poets are all stale. To whom shall I liken Sita, the daughter of Janak? And this is what he tells his brother Lakshman. जासु बिलो की अलौकिक शोभा जासु बिलो की अलौकिक शोभा सहज पुनीत मरो मनु क्षोभा सहज पुनीत मरो मनु क्षोभा सो सब कारण जान भी दाता जान भी दाता जान भी दाता सो सब कारण जान भी दाता फिर कतिन सुबद अंग सुन भ्राता जय राम श्री राम जय जय रामा श्री राम जय राम जय जय रामा. He says, my heart, which is naturally pure, is drawn by the sight of her transcendent beauty. The reason of all this is known to God alone. But I tell you, brother, my limbs are paralyzed by the sight of her. And Goswami Tulsidas describes Mata Sita in his own words. And this is when she enters the pavilion where the Swayamvar takes place, where whoever broke this dhanush could have her hand in marriage. सिया शोभा नहीं जाए बखानी सिया शोभा नहीं जाए बिखानी जगदम्बिका रूप गुण खानी जगदम्बिका रूप गुण खानी उपमा सकल मोहि लगु लागी उपमा सकल मोहि लगु लागी प्राकृत नारी अंग अनुरागी प्राकृत नारी अंग अनुरागी. And he says here, Sita's beauty defies all description. Mother of the universe that she is, an embodiment of charm and excellence. All comparisons seem to me too poor, for they have the affinity with the appearance of mortal women. Prakrita nari anga anuragi. Prakrita nari means mortal women. Her beauty is not matched to that. But we hear a lot about the physical attributes of Mata Sita, how beautiful she was and whatnot. But what were her personal attributes? And this is very well described in Ayodhya Kand when Sri Ram's Banwas was declared, right? Sri Ram initially tries to dissuade her from joining him, saying that the forest has no place for a woman. There are many dangers like wild animals and rakshasas, and the conditions are very harsh. She replies to Raghunath by saying this. पाय पखारी बैठी तरु छाही पाय पखारी बैठी तरु छाही करी हो बाऊ मुदित मन माही करी हो बाहु मुदित मनु माही श्रम कन सहित श्याम तनु देखे कह दुख समाओ प्राणिपति भेखे कह दुख समाओ प्राणपति भेखे. And she says, laying at your feet and resting in the shade of trees, I shall fan you with a cheerful heart, beholding your strong form and looking at the life, the Lord of my life. I can have no occasion for grief in these moments. And she continues by saying, And this is now, she's saying this to kind of give Sri Ram the confidence. And this is the kind of person that she was. She gave Sri Ram the confidence that, yes, he can take care of her in these trying times. Ko Prabhu Sangha mohi chit vanihara. Ko Prabhu Sangha mohi chit vanihara. Simha baduhi jimni sankasinhara. Simha baduhi jimni saskasayara. मैं सुकुमारी नाथ बन जाओगो नाथ बनो जोगो नाथ बनो जोगो मैं सुकुमारी नाथ बनि जोगो तम है उचित तपो कई भोगो तमो है उचित तपमो कहि भोगो. जय राम श्री राम जय जय रामा श्री राम जय राम जय जय रामा. And she says, who can dare look at me when I am by the side of my Lord any more than a hare or jackal would regard a lioness? How true is that I am delicate of body while my Lord is fit to bear the hardships of a forest. And it behooves you to undergo austerity while it is worthwhile for me to lull here in luxuries. And this shows the drive and the determination of Mata Sita. And in these chaupais, like I said before, we've described her physical as well as personal qualities. So beautiful, dutiful, and intelligent she was. Let us all aspire to develop these same qualities within ourselves. प्रेम से बोलो मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम श्री रामचंद्र की जय. प्रेम से बोलो देवी सीता माता की जय.
Thank you very much, Purohit Niraj ji, for so eloquently chanting chaupais from the Ramayana based on the life of Mata Sita. We'll probably let you know one time that once we're given that spot for Ramayana in the park, you will be our representative. So beautifully done, Bhai Niraj. Thank you very much. At this stage, Bhai Rajan, sorry, will do for us bhajan. After that, we'll do the messages and then a short pravachan. And after the pravachan, we'll go into Aarti. So bear with us for a little while more. So, Bhai Rajan ji.
Namaste, everyone. So I would like to thank Bhai Niraj for doing such a wonderful job with those Ramayana Chaupais. And now this song that I'll sing is a biraha. This is kind of like painting a picture of what was going on like around the time of the Ramayana, right? So what it's saying is Ram ji ki bhagya Sita ke pulawari Lakshmana devarwa baithe rakhavari. In Sri Ram's garden are Sita's flower beds, and that's where Sita's brother-in-law Lakshman is sitting keeping guard. So it's just painting a little picture of what's going on. अरे राम जी की भगिया सीता के फुलवारी अरे राम जी की भगिया सीता के फुलवारी लक्ष्मण देवरा बैठे रखवारी राम जी की भगिया सीता के फुलवारी लक्ष्मण देवरा बैठे रखवारी राम जी की भगिया सीता की फुलवारी लक्ष्मण देवरा बैठे रखवारी अरे तूर तूर ने बुलावे जावे ससुरारी तूर तूर ने बुलावे जावे ससुरारी अरे तूर तूर ने बुलावे जावे ससुरारी तूर तूर ने बुलावे जावे ससुरारी अरे तूर तूर ने बुलावे जावे ससुरारी ओही ने बुला के बनावे तरकारी सोनवा के मृगवा तुंडेला फुलवारी 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 अरे सोनवा के मृगवा तुंडेला फुलवारी सोनवा के मृगवा तुंडेला फुलवारी अरे मृगवा के चाल मेरे मन भाई अबे मृगवा के छाल मेरे मन भाई राम जी की भगिया सीता की फुलवारी लक्ष्मण देवरा बैठे रखवारी धनुष बाण लिए धार रघुराई 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 अरे मृगवा के पीछे गए रघुराई मृगवा के पीछे गए रघुराई अरे मृगवा के पीछे गए रघुराई अरे मृगवा के पीछे गए रघुराई अरे राम जी की भगिया सीता की फुलवारी लक्ष्मण देवरा बैठे रघुराई एक बन गैली दूसरा बन जैली तीसरा बन में मृगवा है रैली अरे एक बन गैली दूसरा बन जैली तीसरा बन में मृगवा है रैली अरे एक बन गैली दूसरा बन जैली अब तीसरा मृगवा है रैली अरे एक बन गैली दूसर बन जैली, तीसरा बन में मृग वाहे रहले। अरे राम जी की भगिया सीता की फुलवारी, लक्ष्मण देवरा बैठे रखवारी। राम जी की भगिया सीता की फुलवारी, लक्ष्मण देवरा बैठे रघुराई। लक्ष्मण देवरा बैठे रखवारी, लक्ष्मण देवरा बैठे रखवारी। Thank you.
So thank you very much, Bhai Rajan. As usual, always something very beautiful and to offer to us Sunday morning. So thank you, Bhai Rajan ji. So I'll do the announcements for this morning, and after the announcements, then you'll have Purohit Niraj again. You know, that's one of the joy of graduating as a Purohit. You know, you have to be ready and for everything when called upon. So as a reminder, every Sunday morning we reach here at 9 o'clock for Sunday Satsang, 9 a.m. So again, invitation is for all of us to join. On Thursday night, Pandit Deepak ji is continuing with his weekly satsang, discussing Satyar Prakash, and also alternately doing the Sandhya mantras. So I encourage all to join Pandit Deepak ji every Thursday night. I think that's 7:30 for his weekly satsang. Every month, our youths and our Mahila group meet. So they meet once monthly. If you like to be a part of any of those meetings, you can contact Bahin Diana ji for the youths and Pandita Nirvani in terms of the Mahila meeting. Again, just a reminder that for donations, we do accept donations either in the form of cash, paper meaning check, PayPal, or Zelle. And you can Zelle that via our ASC email, and that's Arya Spiritual Center, and of course, center being spelled CNTRE. Let me also say thank you to all those members, well-wishers who have continuously been donating to our mandir. Again, thank you to each and every one of you. If you'd like to communicate with us, ASC, you can do so via our email, and that's our spiritual center, spelled with the CNTRE, at gmail.com. Mandir Rentals, you can contact any member of exec or and any member for that matter, if you like to rent or the mandir, and that message will be passed on to us, and we can make the necessary arrangements. Now, for some save the dates, on Sunday the 16th, June the 16th, we'll be celebrating Father's Day. A reminder for Veda in the Park, that's we have a tentative date of August the 23rd to August the 25th. Our annual Virdal camp will be done right here, and that's between July the 1st to July the 14th. So if you would like your child to be involved in that, we do have applications. So reach out to any one of us for an application so you can have your child or your children registered for our Virdal camp. The International Arya Mahasammelan, that will be held, of course, right here in New York at Hofstra University, and that will be between July the 18th, or from July the 18th to July the 21st. Of course, that needs registration. I think there was an early registration, which I think finished on the 15th. Of course, we can still register to join this in this International Arya Mahasammelan. There are two other things I'd like to add before I hand you over to Purohit Niraji, and that's we have a WhatsApp group which we share all events, we share all information to our members in terms of events and whatever. If you're not receiving an invitation, I'll ask that you share your telephone number with us so we can have you join the WhatsApp group, and so you can have all the information that we disseminate to our members. Also, if you're celebrating any special occasion and you like to do that on a Sunday morning, please reach out to any one of us. Of course, if you like to join in doing bhojan for that Sunday, please reach out to any one of us. Mahendevika ji is coordinating our bhojan for our weekly satsang, so that we can make arrangements and we can make the proper planning for any Sundays. So that's our messages for this morning. Over to our Purohit Niraj ji for our pravachan, and after that we'll go straight into Aarti.
Pandits, Panditas, mothers, fathers, brothers, and sisters, once again, namaste. Before I begin my message this morning, let's all join together in this mantra, which I had said during the special mantras, and I'll elaborate on some of this now. Om Mama Putraha Shatruhannoto me duhita virat Uttahamasmi Sanjaya Patyo me shloka uttamaha. And we pray, just like Mata Sita, that every mother should nurture sons who are brave and heroic, and daughters who are intelligent and victorious. Possessed of such children, she should be faithful to her husband and bring fame to him by her disposition. Next slide, please. So this morning, I'm going to talk a bit about Mata Sita. And as always, I like to kind of push everyone's thinking a little bit and maybe give you some new perspectives, new ideas, and new facts that you may not have heard before. So please bear with me. And today, keep in mind that I'll be talking from Valmiki Ramayana, which is, as Arya Samaj, that is what we should be focusing on. Even Tulsidas, Swami Tulsidas has given this Shraddha to Valmiki ji, to Rishi Valmiki, in the beginning of the Ramcharitmanas. And everyone who has made their version of the Ramayana has given Vardhan to Valmiki ji. But Valmiki ji is the only one who has the original facts. So when we go to factual things, we should always focus on Valmiki Ramayana to find out what really happened. So that's what I'll be focusing on today. So some qualities of Mata Sita. She was Ayonija. Ayonija means of non-uterine birth. Remember when Raja Janak was plowing the field, his plow stopped, and in the earth was a box with a baby girl, and that happened to be Mata Sita. So she was not of a normal birth. She's of the earth. Sri Ram, I believe, describes her as Varanini, a beautifully complexioned one. And also, I think Valmiki ji, when describing her as well, says she was Charitam Mahan. She had impeccable conduct. And this last one is really what I'm going to be focusing on today. She was Sahadharmachari. Sahadharmachari means an equal partner in dharma. And where do we hear this? We hear this when Sri Ram is getting married to Mata Sita, right? And on the bottom here, you'll see, contrary to popular belief, there was no Swayamvar. The Swayamvar was, we say, all these Rajas got together. There was a calling for all of them. And whoever could break this Shiv Dhanush would get Mata Sita's hand, right? That did not happen. What happened was, see, because Mata Sita was of such a special birth, Raja Janak said it has to be a special man who can marry her, right? And isn't that what we all want for our daughters? And now there's this narrative that, Mata Sita was kind of just, she was like an object, and whoever was the strongest or whatnot, there was a test. Whoever was the strongest can get her, and that was it. But no, that wasn't the idea. Raja Janak said, there's this special heirloom in my family, and whoever can string it, and no ordinary man can do this. So whoever can do this,
can have my daughter in marriage. And isn't that what we all want for our daughters? All of us who have daughters, I'm sure you put the potential suitor through some tests to prove that he can take care of them, right? Same thing here is what he did. And actually what happened was when Sri Ram and Lakshman, so there was a Swayamvar, but Sri Ram and Lakshman weren't there. This happened years ago. And Raja Janak kind of had given up hope at that point that no one could do what I said to do, what I said, you know? And then along come these boys with Vishwamitra, right? And Vishwamitra says, bring the bow, just bring it and show it to them. And it said that 4,000, I believe the number is 4,000 fit men could drag that bow. That's the only way that it could be moved, with 4,000 fit men, and they were dragging it very strenuously. And that's how it happened, right? So Raja Janak shows the bow. There's no big audience. And Sri Ram, because he's a Kshatriya have this quality of just curiosity. If you give them a challenge, they'll do it, right? So just out of curiosity, he just goes and picks up the bow and strings it, and then it breaks. He didn't know that if he did this, he would get Mata Sita and whatnot. And all this, remember I was singing about in the garden and whatnot, that they saw each other, and Ako se Ako, all that stuff. That didn't happen either. They probably didn't even, the first time that they saw each other was on the mandap for their wedding. So he just strings the bow and breaks it. And then after he does that, then Raja Janak says, I had said whoever can string this bow can have my daughter. So this is the condition. You can have her. And then Sri Ram says, that's not my decision to make, that's my father's decision. So then he says he needs his father's permission, and so things happen, right? But this Saha Dharmachari comes in when they're getting married. Raja Janak puts the hand of Mata Sita into Sri Ram's hand and says, she is now your Saha Dharmachari. She is now your equal partner in Dharma for life. And now some historical clarification, right? So again, like I was saying, a lot of people, there's some misconceptions that, you know, women were treated so badly and so poorly and whatnot. But if you look at the Valmiki Ramayana especially very carefully, you'll see that that's not the case. And that wasn't just with Mata Sita or anyone, that was with pretty much all women. So and my proof for saying this is, again, when Sri Ram's Banwas is declared, remember Lakshman gave him a hard time to go, right? Sri Ram said, don't go. Yeah, next slide, please. Sri Ram said, don't go. And Lakshman said, no, he wants to go, he wants to serve, right? And Sri Ram says, look, who's going to take care of my mother and our mothers and whatnot? And this is what Lakshman's reply was to him. He says, Kausalya bibriyat Arya sahasram api madvidhan yasyam sahasram gramanam sampraptam apajivanam. He says, Kausalya obtained 1,000 villages which are dependent on her. Hence, this venerable Kausalya can even maintain 1,000 people like me. So what happened in those days, even queens, and this is also seen in the Mahabharata with Draupadi, even queens, they had domain over thousands of villages and land. And so Lakshman is saying here, she is in charge of taking care of thousands of people. What can I do for her? And that was one of his arguments to convince Sri Ram to let him go, right? So we see here that our dharma is not one that oppresses women and whatnot. That's all nonsense. You'll see here very clearly, they were in charge of wealth. They were in charge of administration, right? So moving on now to see some qualities and the strength of Mata Sita. And again, some proof that the freedom and the ideas of women were very much accepted. When this is what she says to Sri Ram again when his Banvas is declared, right? Next slide, please. So remember again, Sri Ram also didn't want Mata Sita to go, and this is one of the things that she said to him. Kim tvam Amanyata Vedeha Pita me Mitila Adhipaha Rama Jamataram Prapya Striyam Purush Vigraham. This last line here, Striyam Purush Vigraham, is a very, very sharp line to say, especially to a man. What she says here, she's saying, what, you can't protect me, you can't. And then she says, what will my father, the king of Mithila in the country of Videha, think of himself, having got a son-in-law in you, a woman in the form of a man? So she literally calls Sri Ram, she says, you're a woman, but just Purush, Striyam Purush, women in the form of a man. Isn't that a really sharp thing? What Uncle Vinay is like, imagine someone's wife says that to them. That's like really harsh, right? But why is she saying this? She's not saying this to be abusive, right? She's saying this because she wants to put Sri Ram back on the right track of Dharma, right? And this is showing her ability to how she spoke frankly and helped him along this path. You know, sometimes men and women, we can deviate, think our way is the right way and whatnot, and we have the other person there to kind of push us back. So then when one person is pushing left and the other is pushing right, we end up going in a straight line, right? So, and after she said this, it wasn't like Sri Ram beat her up and said, woman, why are you talking to me like this and whatnot? No, he accepted what she said, and he spoke to her very nicely. Again, showing that, women have this freedom of speech. They can say things that are meaningful. And this shows also, again, her dedication to Sri Ram. Next, and her loyalty to Sri Ram. Next slide, please. She says, Sakya lobhayitum naha me swaryena dhanena va ananya raghave maham bhaskarena prabhayata prabhayata. She says, I am not capable to be tempted. Oh, sorry. This is in Sundarkand when she is talking to Ravan. And this is in Ashok Vatika, right? And when he's trying to convince her, to leave Sri Ram, this is what she says. She says, I am not capable to be tempted by wealth or money. I am not separate from Raghav, like the sunshine from the sun. Imagine how powerful that is, right? You can't separate the sunshine from the sun, no matter how hard you try, right? That's just an impossible thing. How many of us are that committed to anything, not just say man or wife, but anything, right? Ananya means not separate, and in Raghavam, clearly she's talking about Sri Ram. Prabhayata means she's comparing it to the sunshine, and Bhaskarena is the sun. This is what she's saying. This is her dedication. This is the poetry that she's using. And now, a lot of people, they say, oh, well, we talk about the dedication of Mata Sita too much, how she was dedicated to her wife. Shouldn't it be the other way around? Shouldn't men be dedicated to their wives as well? And of course they should be. I feel like people who say that either they haven't looked at this clearly, or I don't know what, they have some other intention. But it's very clear that on both sides, commitment is necessary. And I just put this in here for anyone who, yes, this one. And also, I think everyone knows that I usually put my citation on the bottom right. So if you have any, but it can't show it there. But if you have any question, please let me know. She says to Ravan in the same conversation, Atushtam sveshu dhareshu chalitena dhruyam nayanti nikrita prajyam paradharam parabhavam. She says, one who is not satisfied with his own wife is fickle-minded, with disturbed senses, and a mean-minded one. To such a man, other wives will lead to humiliation. This shows that, again, dedication, loyalty, all these things are built into Sanatan Dharma. And one who deviates from these paths, one who is of fickle mind and disturbed senses, what happens to them? Like what happened to Ravan? Leads to their destruction. Moving on. So this again, this is an important part of Mata Sita's life that is now coming into question. And I'm talking about these things because they're current issues that our girls and our boys, when they go out places, they hear about, and other people hear about the Sri Ram and whatnot, and Sri Krishna, and they question them. And they say, oh, your Dharma is something that oppresses women. Your Dharma is something that, you can just do whatever you want. It's not so. And then they have no answer for these questions when the time comes. So one other thing, again, people say that Mata Sita had to walk through the fire and prove her purity, right? And this is unfair. Because why do women alone have to prove their purity? Why do women alone have to be tested? Something as harsh as being put through fire, right? But if you look at the story clearly, you'll see that it was something on both sides. And what happens here? So to give a little, again, backstory of what happens, right? So we all know that Hanuman jumps across to Lanka, right? Before they build a bridge and before all that, right? He goes to see Mata Sita to give her the ring, right? And really what it was to make sure that she's in good condition and whatnot, right? So he does that. And in the Ramcharitmanas for Tulsidas Ramayan, it said that when he sees Mata Sita and talks to her and whatnot, he says, I can't take you back because my Lord has not commanded me to do so, right? And if you think about it, that doesn't make sense. Because Sri Ram is his ally, right? He knows that this is what Sri Ram wants. Sri Ram has cried and behaved like a madman and fainted and all these things. He's talked about his longing for Mata Sita again. It said that at any moment when that had just happened, he would think about Mata Sita. If there was a nice breeze, he would think, oh, my beloved would have liked this breeze so much. I wonder if there's nice weather where she is. And he would go down into like this depression. So you know that this is what he wants, and yet you're saying you're seeing his wife there and you're not going to take her back because what? He didn't command you to do so. That's like, someone asks for water to drink and you bring it in your hand. And then they say, what is this? And you'll say, well, you didn't ask me for the glass. Right? This is like, it's common sense. Of course, if he would know that this would make Sri Ram happy, he would have brought her back. And that's exactly what he did. He said, please climb on my back and I will go over with you and take you to Sri Ram. But what does she say? And this was Sri Ram's Agni Pariksha. She first says a few reasons why she can't. She said she's scared of falling into the ocean. She says that she's frightened, and then also that she's a married woman and to touch another man would be improper of her, right? But because Ravan took her, that was by force. But for her to be willing to do so would not be proper, right? But this was the penultimate reason. She says, Kamam tvam api paryapto nahantum sarva rakshasan raghavasya yasho hiyet tvaya shaskyehi tu rakshasya hai. She says, if the Rakshasas find us, right, and you are caught, right, that would be an issue, right? But let's say that you're able to kill all of these demons, right? Everyone will give glory, and the glory would go on to Hanuman, but there would be no celebrity and no glory for Sri Ram. And this is, I think, a very important thing. Sri Ram, by the way, Sri Ram did not command the Banwas. Mata Sita did that out of her own free will. What happened was, when Sri Ram won, he first installed Vibhishan as the king of Lanka. Then he said, Hanuman, go to Ashok Vatika and bring Mata Sita here. He didn't go to see her, right? So he brings her, and what he says is, I have done this and I have fought for the glory of my kul, of the Raghukul. I have not done this for you. So you can go on your, do whatever you'd like to do after, but this is why I'm here. So now that I'm here, you're free to do what you want to do, right? And it's very strange. Even Lakshman and Hanuman are confused. Like, you've missed her so much. Why are you talking to her like in such a harsh way now? And even Mata Sita says, why are you talking to me like an uncivilized man talks to an uncivilized woman? And she says, if you have any doubt, let this fire burn me. If I've taken my mind off of Sri Ram for even one moment, not even if I've done anything, if I've taken my mind off of him for one moment, let this fire consume me. And she builds a pyre and she sits in it and walks through it. So she did that out of her own volition. And then afterwards, Sri Ram says, I know that she didn't do anything. I know that she was pure. But for her reputation and for her glory, I thought that this would, to kind of push her to do this, would be the best thing. So now no one can question her purity, right? Same thing here. And he was only thinking about that. Same thing here. Mata Sita is thinking about the glory of Sri Ram. And she continues to say, next slide, please. She says, Yadi Ramo Dashagrivam Iha Hantva Sarakshasam Mam Ihato Grihya Gachate Tattasya Sadrisham Bhavet. She says, if Ramo Dashagrivam. So Ravan's actual name was not Ravan. He got that name. His actual name was Dashagriv. But that's for another pravachan. Then, if he kills Ravan here along with his relatives and departs, taking me from here, it would be proper for him. So think about that Agni Pariksha. She's saying, no, my husband has to come here and save me. I cannot go with you because for his glory. Imagine how hard that is to ask a man. You have to walk the whole of India, a subcontinent, and it wasn't even India at that time, Akhanda Bharat, which was even bigger than what it is now. You have to walk through forests, dense forests, find an army somehow, and then not even walk across the country. You have to then build a bridge across the sea, and then go into a land where there's a Rakshas that has defeated so many kings before you, and fight him and win. Isn't that an Agni Pariksha for a man, to ask a man to do something like that? It would be just the same. It would be just as hard to ask a woman to walk through fire, isn't it? But yet they did these things. They said that each other should do these things for the glory of each other. And that's exactly what happened. Now thousands of years have passed and we remember them, right? And it's important to concern ourselves with the reputation of each other, right? That's why we shouldn't talk down on each other, make the other one feel bad. And some people would say, well, why should we care about what other people think? Why? You'll see what happens when you care about what other people think. And listen, this itihas, this history is on a very big scale, right? These are kings and queens we're talking about, right? Not all of us are kings and queens. But in a way, there are people who look towards us in their small little way. They look towards our actions, right? Some of us are mothers and fathers. Your children are looking up to you. Some of us are brothers and sisters. Your siblings are looking to you. Even now, Ben Darshini has her son coming to Mandir. Everyone as a community has a responsibility to show him what is the right thing to do. Of course, it's not on a large scale like Sri Ram and Mata Sita. But we still need to do these things for the preservation of society. So whenever someone says, oh, I don't care what people think. Don't worry about what people think. It's an issue. It's an issue because it's not dharmic. Dharma is you care about the welfare of not just yourself, but everyone. And when you perpetuate these good qualities, you create what? Ram Rajya. It said in Ram Rajya, nothing unnatural happened at all. Unnatural meaning, it said parents never had to bury their children. No one was sick. Everyone was always prosperous. It was so much so that in Uttarakhand, there was a Brahmin, and his son had fainted away. And he came to Sri Ram and he said, someone is doing something adharmic in your kingdom. It is your responsibility as the king to find out. Imagine that. And just no reason. He just fainted away. Imagine as a king how you have to fix that. Someone gives you that thing. And eventually he goes and walks around his kingdom thinking about what's going on and sees someone is doing tapasya to do what? To be able to conquer this world. And right then and there, he kills them because that's a wrong tapasya to do. That's the same thing that Ravan did. He kills them and then the Brahmin son wakes up. That's the kind of power that dharma has when we all behave in a certain way, in a dharmic way. That's the kind of when you behave naturally with the world, it can have that effect. We can all lose this suffering and there will be no more of this suffering and grief and pain and whatnot. But it takes, again, effort, a lot of effort. Like I said in my pravachana and sanskars, anything that is worth doing is not easy. And this is what we have to learn from Mata Sita and Sri Ram. It's not easy to educate yourself and to learn what is right and wrong thing to do. And then it's not easy to also, when you know what's the right thing and wrong thing to do, execute that. It takes a lot of training, a lot of courage. But if you do it, again, people remember you in a positive way for thousands of years. Up to now, people think, or there's an idea that Sri Ram is God. That was his status, right? And this is what we all want, but we need that loyalty, that dedication, like Mata Sita and Sri Ram had. Last slide. So this was something that I read in a book, Ramayana Unraveled by Ami Ganatra. And this is a chapter she called Sahadharmacharini. And this is at the end of the chapter. And she says, what they both cared about was how history would judge their beloved. Possibly they weren't even thinking about history at all at that point. Their concern was the perception of their people. And by their actions, they did set the norm for them. Right? Very important. They set the norm for them. Sita was Ram's Sahadharmacharini, an equal partner in dharma, in the truest sense of the word. Theirs was a match made in heaven. So as we celebrate the Sita Jayanti, let us remember, empower our mothers and sisters and daughters, because this is what Sanatana Dharma requires of them, or that's what requires us to do as men, to protect them and whatnot. We have a responsibility as well as they have a responsibility whenever they're married or whatnot. Like I said in the first mantra, may they give those sons who are brave and heroic and daughters who are intelligent and victorious. That is their responsibility, right? So, and with all of this responsibility, we can create a dharmic society, a hapal society, an Aryan society, a noble society. Thank you very much and namaste.
Thank you very much, Purohit Nirajji. It's also not easy to sit and do a pravachan without much research and planning. So thank you once again for your message this morning. With that, we'll come to an end this morning's satsang. As we stand for Aarti, let me thank each and every one of you for joining us here this morning. I'd also like to thank our son, our brother, for producing this morning. Did an excellent job, so thank you very much. And also to all those members who have contributed with Bhojan this morning, thank you very much for your contribution. So let's all join in Aarti and closing prayers.
ओम जय जगदीश हरे, स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे। भक्त जनों के संकट, भक्त जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। जो ध्यावे फल पावे, दुख विन से मन का। ओ स्वामी दुख विन से मन का। सुख संपत्ति घर आवे, सुख संपत्ति घर आवे, कष्ट मिटे तन का। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। विषय विकार मिटाओ, पाप हरो देवा। ओ स्वामी पाप हरो देवा। श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ, श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ाओ, संतन की सेवा। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। जय जगदीश हरे, स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे। भक्त जनों के संकट, भक्त जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे, ओम जय जगदीश हरे, ओम जय जगदीश हरे। अथ शांति पाठः। ओम द्यौः शान्तिरन्तरिक्षं शान्तिः, पृथिवी शान्तिरापः शान्तिः, रोषधयः शान्तिः, वनस्पतयः शान्तिर्विश्वे देवाः शान्तिः, ब्रह्म शान्तिः, सर्वं शान्तिः। शान्तिरेव शान्तिः, सामा शान्तिरेधि। ओम शांति शांति शांति। प्रेम से बोलो ओमकार भगवान की जय। प्रेम से बोलो मर्यादा पुरुषोत्तम श्री रामचंद्र की जय। प्रेम से बोलो देवी माता सीता की जय। प्रेम से बोलो योगेश्वर श्री कृष्ण चंद्र की जय। प्रेम से बोलो जगत गुरु महर्षि स्वामी दयानंद की जय। प्रेम से बोलो वेदा माता की जय। प्रेम से बोलो वैदिक सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। भोजन मंत्र। ओम अनपते ननस्य नो देहि, यनमिवस्य शुष्मिनः प्रप्रदातारं तारिष ऊर्जन्नो देहि, द्विपदे चतुष्पदे। ओम शांति शांति शांति। Namaste and have a wonderful week ahead.